Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Tom with Capo Fetish. Today, I'm going to talk about some favorite music interludes from classic albums. These are those little bits, those little short bits between songs that lead up to a killer track. And I'm going to feature 10 of those right now. So I'm going to start off here with a great 40-second track off of Rod Stewart's Never a Dull Moment album. This was his fourth studio album that came right after Every Picture Tells a Story. And it's a song called Interludings. And it's a song sandwiched in between his version of Angel by Jimi Hendrix, and it's leading into You Wear It Well. It's 40 seconds, just this really cool melodic acoustic thing, kind of similar to what he did on Maggie May. There's that kind of acoustic intro before the full song kicks in. This is kind of similar to that. But it was never even labeled on Every Picture Tells a Story as a separate track, but on this album it is, and it's called Interludings. But I've always just loved it. It's just really simple, really melodic acoustic playing. It's probably played by Ronnie Wood, but it just it's the perfect segue right into You Wear It Well, and I've always loved it. So again, the track is called Interludings off of Never a Dull Moment, Rod Stewart from 1972. Another great one I've always loved. This is one of my absolute all-time favorites. It's off the Genesis album Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. So side two kicks off with a track called Back in New York City, a real belter for Peter Gabriel, just a really almost like a punk vocal. And then it segues into this track I really love called Hairless Heart. It's just instrumental. A lot of it is Tony Banks, his keyboards. It's very ethereal sounding, very cinematic sounding too, because the whole album kind of sounds cinematic. And it goes on for about 2 minutes, and it just segues perfectly into the next track called Counting Out Time, which is a real kind of poppy number that follows. But always loved Hairless Heart. I know you Genesis fans know what I'm talking about for this period. It's just a beautiful, beautiful track. And I've always loved it, and it just fits perfect in the sequencing of side two, flowing into Counting Out Time. So that's one. Another one too is this particular album has 3 really nice interludes leading into just 3 killer tracks, and these are off of Jethro Tull's album Aqualung. The first 2 tracks are off side 1. One is called Cheap Day Return, really short track. Then it flows into the track called Mother Goose, great track. Then towards the end of side 1, we have another one called Wandering Aloud. Love that track. Another good 1 minute, 20-second tune, which flows into the last song called Up to Me. And then on side 2, there's another one called a really even shorter tune called Slipstream, which fades out and then gets into the whole locomotive breath beginning and starts off. So yeah, those 3 tracks, always loved those 3 really short little interludes on Jethro Tull's Aqualung. And I think they fit nicely in the album and the whole sequencing. Another one, too, I've always liked is off The Who's album Tommy, off side 3. It starts off with these quick little ditties, these interludes. One called Do You Think It's All Right? And then it goes into this Fiddle About track. And then that goes right into Pinball Wizard. I always liked how that segue worked out on track 3, side 3, pardon me. So yeah, Do You Think It's All Right? Very, very short little bit going into Fiddle About, another short little bit segueing perfectly into Pinball Wizard off The Who's Tommy from 1969 off side 3. Another great one too, there was a track from Bert Jansch. I think it was off either maybe his first or second solo album. It was called Black Waterside. He sung vocals, he played his really unusual picking style. And then it appears that Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page picked up that style too from Bert Jansch and did his own version called Black Waterside or Black Mountainside on the first Led Zeppelin album. Side 2 kicks off with Your Time Is Gonna Come, and then it just fades out and slowly gets into this Black Mountain Waterside. And it goes on for about 2 minutes, and it's just Jimmy playing pretty much the same kind of rhythm over and over, same kind of melody, and you've got some congas playing in back. And it keeps going, and keeps going, and it just stops, and then it just kicks right into Communications Breakdown. I always liked how those 3 songs just segued into one another. And this is a great interlude into something completely different like Communication Breakdown. I always love that contrast. So that's another one I really dig. Another one too that I don't think a lot of people like, but I've always loved it, just in the context of the album. On side 3 of the Rolling Stones, Exile on Main Street, you have a song called Just Want to See His Face. It's like this really cool, kind of ethereal, kind of gospel type of track. Coming right after Ventilator Blues and right between Let It Loose, which ends the side. But it's fantastic, and I've always loved it. It's just sounds completely different than anything else on the album. And I think it's a nice little respite from all the rhythm and blues and the rock and roll before it sets up for this really cool track, Let It Loose, that ends track or side 3. So I Just Want to See His Face from the Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street from 1972. Great little interlude before Let It Loose. Always love that. Now there's this band called Hatfield in the North that a lot of prog rock people don't really talk about too much. They're more jazz fusion. They came out of the Canterbury scene. The bass player, Richard Sinclair, he was in Caravan. Hatfield in the North had 2 albums. One just titled Hatfield in the North. But their second album is a stone cold masterpiece called The Rotters Club. Every track on this is just absolutely amazing. And on track or side 2, there's a track called Mumps that takes up most of the side. It's like about 17 minutes long. And when it kicks off with these 3 female singers. And their names are Barbara Gaskin, Amanda Parsons, and Ann Rosenthal. They're known on the album as the Northettes. And what they do at the start of the song is they sing in this really almost angelic way. They're harmonizing together. It's the most beautiful track. The track, if you can believe it, is called Your Majesty is Like a Cream Donut, right? So what they do is they outline the entire melody of the song, the main melody of the song, with just their ahs and oohs. It's like angels singing from above. It's just the most amazing thing. And once it's like this interlude, and once it fades out, it kicks into the full song with the whole band, the electric guitar, acoustic, well, not electric guitar, but the drums, the bass, the organ, the whole thing. And what they do is they counteract their vocal, the 3 ladies, throughout the entire 17-minute track. They're kind of returning to that melody that they initially sung in the beginning. And it's just the most incredible track. But the way it starts off with these 3 ladies, these 3 backup singers singing, is just the most amazing, gorgeous thing. I highly recommend this record. If you've never heard this record, it is just the most amazing jazz fusion record of all time. Everything about it, it's great to listen to on headphones. It's just the way the tracks flow into one another. But this, as I would say, this interlude at the start of the song, Mumps, is one of the most beautiful interludes I've ever heard in my life. So this is from Hatfield in the North. The album's called The Rotters Club. Came out in 1975. And if you've never heard this album, check it out. It is the most incredible album. So, and then another one, there's a lot of Beatle interludes, right? Probably on the White Album and Abbey Road. But one that always freaked me out, but I loved it, and I think it's a perfect setup for Revolution 9, is after Cry Baby Cry, you have that Can You Take Me Back interlude, which is, it's not even listed. It's never been listed on the album. It's just kind of in the album, and it's like very freaky sounding as Cry Baby Cry ends. And Can You Take Me Back Where I Came From, Can You Take Me Back, leading into Revolution 9. It's just the most freakiest interlude, and it's perfect for Revolution 9. So I've always loved that little interlude there right after Cry Baby Cry into Revolution 9. That's another favorite. And then another great one too is off the Kill City record by Iggy Pop and James Williamson. There are 2 versions of this track. It's a instrumental. It's called Night Theme. So this is the CD, but on the original record, side 1 ends with Night Theme, and then you turn over the record, and then the Night Theme reprise starts. And it's just this really cool guitar track, very short guitar track with this repetitive melodic guitar line going on and on and on. Very, it's very infectious. And as it ends, it segues into this really cool track called Consolation Prizes, which is It's just a really great interlude into Consolation Prizes. That's another favorite one of mine. And then one last one too I've always loved is off the Melt album by Peter Gabriel, the third album. There's a song called Start, and it's this kind of saxophone interlude. And it's played by this guy named Dick Morrissey. And it goes on for about 2 minutes, really just this really kind of really intense kind of sounding sax interlude. And then it goes, and then as it fades out, it goes right into the pumping I Don't Remember, which is just a great, great track. One of my favorite Peter Gabriel solo tracks. So that's another great interlude. And that's it. Those are the ones I could think of off the top of my head. What are your favorite interludes on classic albums? Let me know in the comments section. Thanks for watching as always. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I would appreciate that. And we'll see you soon. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.